Confused as to, how much one man can be so out of touch with the American people. Now, he says Fox News is destructive. Well, that's a fascinating observation coming from a guy whose policies have caused the nation's unemployment rate to skyrocket to double digits. It's a fascinating observation considering he has already added more to our national debt than our first 40 presidents combined. He says Fox News is destructive, yet it is his administration that doesn't think we're fighting a war on terror. In fact, they're willing to sit down with terrorists like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Mr. President, this network did not put into place policies that are going to result in higher taxes, higher health care premiums, and fewer jobs. Nor did this network go around the world apologizing for America, accepting gifts from dictators, all the while bowing to every president and prime minister in sight. Hope and Change did all of those things, and 35 days from now, I have a feeling, pretty good feeling, the American people will have something to say about it. In the meantime, I am joined in studio by the host of Varney and Company on the Fox Business Network, Stuart Varney, and along with us, once again, former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor. They're both really good friends, Dana Perino.
I think it's so interesting that he complained about objective journalism by giving an exclusive interview to the Rolling Stone.
Exactly.
I mean, does anyone see the irony in that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're laughing it up here, but it is astonishing that a president of the United States of America should pick on one news outlet and repeatedly say we are destructive. But as you pointed out, Sean, he cannot run on his record. Fox News had nothing to do with the fate of his economic policy, immigration policy, security policy, foreign policy, healthcare, nothing to do with us whatsoever. But we are destructive. That is incredible.
Well, for all of those reasons, and this was puzzling to me during the campaign. He mentioned me, attacked me by name about a dozen times. I'm thinking, this guy wants to be president. He seems extraordinarily thin-skinned.
The more he does these types of things, the more that it casts him in a light of being petty, of being partisan, and of being really paranoid. And he's the one who wanted these policies, and the onus is on him to explain why they are good for America. The problem is with the results. And I also think that, like all of us were taught when we were kids, if you don't have anything nice to say, just ignore. If you think someone's a bully, just ignore them.
You see, you are far more gracious than me, because once
That's
again,
true.
he went... Ouch, ouch, boy, boom, why don't I just put it on a tee? All right, but he took more shots at George Bush. He campaigned for, 2 years to become president? He's been president for nearly 2 years. I've been saying, Mr. President, put your pants on. Sit at the table, man up. I am tired. This is his budget. This is his debt. This is his deficit. This is his stimulus. This is his health care. I am tired of him whining, complaining, and blaming everybody, as he does in this article, but himself.
But Sean shows everybody else.
But have you ever seen a president do this before? Has any president in your lifetime taken on this kind of tone, this kind of harshness, either towards his predecessor or towards a single media outlet? I have never seen this before.
The level of immaturity. Look, you work with President Bush, and President Bush has been totally, completely, utterly silent. I don't know how he does it. Because I would, after 2 years of nonstop shots, I inherited, this was the worst, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's time for President Bush to fire back and say, man up.
President Bush took a cue from his dad, who was also very gracious and never talked about his successor in a negative way, and President Bush promised he wouldn't do that, and he's not going to do that. So that's off the table. But Sean, the rest of America is tired of it as well. I mean, the fact that they have to go tonight to universities to try to fire up their base, to try to get them to turn out in a midterm election, says that they are more worried than they said. And you even have a Democrat in North Dakota running an ad saying that he worked with President Bush.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. And you have more people saying it's time for Nancy Pelosi to go. No Democrat is running on stimulus. None is running on cap and tax. None is running on health care.
And yet in the Rolling Stone magazine, he says he's going to try to push for cap and tax next year.
He did say that. I saw that.